Software engineering is no longer a dream job. And I don't mean to scare you, but for over 2 decades, software engineering used to be the closest thing to a guaranteed path to prosperity. Computer science graduates guaranteed 6 figures, boot campers getting big tech jobs, and companies threw money at anyone who could write basic code. But that era is officially over. Mass layoffs and companies trying to replace people with AI are now common realities. And so today I'm gonna walk through exactly how we got here, because it didn't happen overnight. From the wild riches of the dotcom boom to today's reality where even senior software engineers are struggling to find work, we can see exactly how dramatically the tech landscape has shifted and what it takes to succeed in this new reality. So first, to understand how software engineering used to be a dream job and the rise of software engineering, let's rewind to the late 90s, the dot-com boom. This was a time when if you had an idea that ended in a .com and you knew basic HTML, you could raise a multi-million-dollar company. And software engineers at the time weren't just respected, but they were idolized, and they were becoming rich, like real rich. Business magazines were putting 22-year-old programmers on their covers, and people were becoming millionaires. For example, Microsoft created 10,000 millionaires just through stock options. Amazon stock went from $18 to $100, which created a lot of millionaires in just 2 years. All these internet companies in the dot-com boom were literal gold mines. And software engineers were actually treated like A-star athletes, so much so that poaching was common. Recruiters would literally camp outside of competitors' offices, and raises of 50% were common for job hoppers. And guess what? No leak code, no whiteboard puzzles. If you could write basic code, knowing HTML and CSS could land you a $60,000 job offer, which inflation adjusted is $120,000 today. This is also when crazy perks were just getting started. Google had gourmet chefs in their cafeterias, on-site massage therapists, dry cleaning, car washes, gyms, and even nap pods and meditation rooms. Unlimited PTO wasn't a scam, and companies would send their employees to places like Hawaii and Vegas just to boost their morale. But all good things must come to an end, and in March 2000, reality hit like a sledgehammer. The dot-com bubble bursted spectacularly and tech stocks plummeted. And for software engineers, the layoffs were brutal. Between 2000 and 2002, over 200,000 tech workers lost their jobs, entire floors of office buildings in Silicon Valley sat empty, and developers who did have jobs even took some salary cuts. But then between 2004 and 2008, everything changed again, and software engineers were once again on top. This was the rise of Web 2.0, where the internet became a dynamic, interactive platform. Users weren't just consuming content anymore, they were creating it. Facebook, for example, exploded out of a Harvard dorm and became a billion-dollar company. YouTube was created, blew up, got acquired by Google for $1.65 billion after just 18 months. And for the software engineers inside these tech companies, they were driving huge innovations. Google had a policy called 20% time, where engineers could spend 1 day a week creating whatever they wanted in free-flow innovation. And some of Google's biggest products, like Gmail and AdSense, which, by the way, whoever created it, thank you so much, were a result of this. And this is also when salaries started getting serious again. Top tier grads, especially from schools like Stanford or MIT, could land $80,000, $90,000 base offers with total compensation sometimes pushing $100,000 to $120,000. But keep in mind, the cost of living was much lower then, so they were keeping a good amount of their money. And everything in tech was looking super great until 2008 rolled in and reality hit like a bigger sledgehammer. The Great Recession hit. Investor money dried up overnight. Startups began shutting down by the hundreds. Even companies like Yahoo, eBay, and even Google implemented hiring freezes. And the mentality in tech was now survive at all costs. And many software engineers who had gotten comfortable with job security found themselves unemployed for the first time in their careers. But by 2010, as the economy started recovering, tech was ready to lead the charge into the next boom cycle. Really quick, if you love video games and want to learn to code, this is gonna blow your mind. It's called Codedex, and it's like Pokemon meets programming. And the best part is they are free to get started. They have 400 hours of beginner-friendly content. You can learn Python, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, SQL, and more. Then there are challenge packs and project tutorials, which are fun interactive content for you to get the reps in and build real-world projects ASAP instead of watching boring boring tutorials. There's even a whole Codedex world, an online platform community where you can meet other learners from all over the globe. 800,000 plus people in 192 countries are already on this. So if you're serious about learning to code and want to check out Codedex, click the link down below and use Sajjaad20 for 20% off the Codedex Club membership. And now let's get back to the video. So from 2010 to 2015 was the era of the mobile gold rush. Because of the popularity of the iPhone, suddenly apps were the new websites. So not a dot-com boom, but an app store boom. One single app could make you rich overnight. Flappy Bird was making $50,000 per day. Instagram had just 13 employees when it got acquired for $1 billion. But more than the apps, companies were throwing money at software engineers like crazy. There was this trend called acqui-hiring, where companies would literally acquire a startup just to get their engineers. So the demand for regular software engineers was high, but in this era, if you were a mobile developer, there were literal bidding wars over you. And this was also the very start of remote work. For example, companies like GitHub and Buffer started experimenting with the work from anywhere mentality. Around 2014, the whole digital nomad thing started picking up. Slack had just come out, Zoom was gaining traction, and it was almost like a mini experiment for what was to come in the years ahead. And this was also the start of mainstream coding boot camps and wild success stories. Bartenders who became software engineers, artists who went from Photoshop to full stack in 3 months, and the boot camps could viably advertise a crazy high 98% job placement rate because the market was so favorable. And all was good until 2016 when things really started to shift. So between 2016 and 2019, the first warning signs of the downfall of software engineering started to show. Tech was still hot, and software engineering and computer science were very popular. But because of that, the barrier to entry started to rise, and getting a job in this field was no longer guaranteed. Leet code became mandatory, interviews ballooned into 5, 6, sometimes even 7 rounds, phone screens, timed coding tests, and the infamous on-site with 5 back-to-back interviews were part of the process. And companies became picky. Age discrimination became a growing concern. People over 35 were telling that they were overqualified or wouldn't thrive in a fast-paced environment, which is crazy to think at the age of 35. It still wasn't as bad as today. People still were landing jobs, just working harder than before. Companies still had amazing perks, free food, free massages, they were all still there, but you could feel a slight level down in excitement compared to the decade before. But then, in March 2020, everything changed again. The COVID-19 pandemic hit, and this one was really weird. So in 2020, right when the pandemic hit, the economy started tumbling. For people in tech, specifically college students and new grads, internships were canceled. One of my friends had a 12-week internship that paid $60 an hour. That changed into an 8-week internship paying $30 an hour. People got laid off, and companies really didn't know what to expect out of this pandemic. Because when there's a sudden fear in the market, people pull their money, so there were hiring freezes across the board. And morale was at an all-time low. No in-person interactions, no perks, no free food, no free massages anymore. Things just were not looking good. In a stark contrast to that year, the government rescued everyone in 2021, and they pumped the economy with so much free money by lowering the interest rate. And with more money, that means more innovation. Tech companies can hire more software engineers. And so in 2021, every company on earth suddenly needed software engineers. Signing bonuses could hit $100,000. Remote work was the default at this point, so people started moving out of expensive places like San Francisco, New York, and into cheaper cities while keeping their astronomically high salaries. And as long as you had a pulse, you were getting hired and paid well. But unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and starting in 2022, the golden era of tech officially came to an end. The Fed raised interest rates, meaning less borrowing money, investors pulled their money, and tech stocks started to come down. The main focus of the economy was now profitability, not so much innovation. For example, if you could build 10 features with 10 engineers and you pay them $100,000 each, or deliver 8 features with 5 engineers, the smaller team looked more attractive because lower costs, higher margins. But In reality, companies didn't want just those 8 features, they wanted those same 10 features delivered by the 5 remaining engineers. So morale declined and stress increased. And layoffs swept across the industry. Meta laid off 11,000 employees. Twitter, after Elon Musk took over, cut over half the company. And just like that, mass layoffs were no longer shocking. They became normalized, and the website layoffs.fyi turned into one of the most visited trackers in tech. Hiring freezes was across the industry, internship programs were canceled, new grad offers were rescinded. And as crazy as this sounds, in 2023, things were still really bad, and over 260,000 tech workers were laid off in this year. And then in 2024 and 2025, the tech industry was hit with the biggest shift it's faced yet. And can you guess what it was? AI. Tools like ChatGPT, Claude, GitHub Copilot started doing what junior software engineers used to be able to do. Using Cursor, Warp, Replit, you could create fully functional projects in minutes. And Anthropic CEO said within a year, AI could write 100% of all code, and it will wipe out half of all entry-level white-collar jobs and spike unemployment to 10 to 20%. Yeah, it's crazy. And so combining how popular computer science still is, the economic corrections from the pandemic, and the threat of AI, this made for the perfect storm to really hurt software engineers, particularly new grads. We're living through what some people call a senior-only software engineering market, where companies want a new grad software engineer to have the skills of senior software engineers while pretty much getting paid the salary of interns. Okay, the salary part was a little bit of an exaggeration, but you get what I mean. And the impact of AI on the job market has been brutal. You know how you can go on LinkedIn and see a job posted 2 minutes ago, and it already has 100+ applicants? Well, I actually asked an ex-Google recruiter about why that happens, and he said since everyone has access to AI, mass application tools have begun to flood applications. Using AI, I can now scrape the internet, and anytime a job is posted, I can auto-apply it for me. And so this has made it difficult for recruiters to even get back to you, since they deal with thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of applications. And the harshest part of all of this is you're not just competing locally anymore, you're competing with the world. Some companies, and this has been a growing trend for a while now, are outsourcing. Because technology education is so easy to access nowadays, tech companies are hiring Eastern European and Indian software engineers that could do the same job for a fraction of the cost. This helps them save money, but also they get to keep their company running 24/7 across various time zones. Now look, I get it. After watching all this, you might be thinking, why would anyone want to get into tech right now? Tech is really cooked. But here's the thing, every industry has cycles. There was a dot-com boom, the dot-com bust. There was a financial crisis in 2008, and then tech recovered and boomed strong again. Even in the pandemic, 2020 was bad, then 2021 was great again. Software and software engineering is still dominating the world. Every company needs software engineers. Your local dentist needs a website. Your local mom and pop shop needs an ordering system. There are surprisingly a lot of businesses that still use pen and paper and basic Excel sheets. And yes, AI is changing the game, and AI will officially be the death of modern day software engineering. Not that developers will go missing, but their roles will evolve. And yes, you do need to evolve, just like anytime there was something new in history, you needed to evolve. When Java was created, you had to learn Java. When Python was created, you had to learn Python. And so in today's world, you either pick up new skills and learn how to, for example, use AI, or you seek opportunities within AI. For example, AI engineering, prompt engineering, ML ops engineering are growing in demand because of AI. Certain parts of cybersecurity are growing to counteract all the threats of AI. In fact, I recently talked to Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, and TLDR, most software engineers are en route to becoming software architects, where we design and strategize while AI develops the code. So there are huge opportunities in this disruption. And so in order to truly prepare yourself for this shift, here are 3 things you should do right now. 1, build real projects that solve real problems. Stop building another to-do app or weather dashboard. Build something that people will actually use that's technologically efficient. This will prove that you can deliver value. And if you're looking for ideas, check out this GitHub repository called Build Your Own X. Depending on your coding language, it'll give you a project to work on. 2, pick a specialization and go deep. Do not be a jack of all and master of none. Companies want experts and you'll benefit in your own career. Like, don't just say you're going to be a software engineer. Pick, okay, front end or back end? Okay, front end, mobile or web? Be very specific and be an expert in that. You don't need to be a React.js expert or a Flutter wizard. Like, specific tools can change up, but within your domain, you should be able to design, strategize, and develop, and also be very well known in the industry for that particular domain. 3, network like your career depends on it, because it does. Cold applying really doesn't get you far. A lot of jobs are filled through referrals. So start contributing to open source projects or join local meetups, yes, in person, help people within communities, write about what you're learning online, and the goal isn't to network. It's to become known as someone who adds value. And yes, you can even stand out in this market. For example, in the last year, I've received so many messages from recruiters, founders, and leaders who want to hire me into their company because I've proven that I'm successful in tech. I've proven my value. And so now, it's time for you to prove yours. Well, that's about all I have in this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're interested in my absolutely free tech newsletter, link will be down below in the description. And also a link for my community will also be down below in the description. Be sure to check it out. And if you're interested in what software engineers do on a day-to-day basis, you might like this video right here.